In the heart of country music's timeless tradition, where stories are woven into the very fabric of our souls. Gather round the table for a journey into the heart of the songs, the singers, and the stories that define our world. Welcome to Season 2 of Stories Round the Table with Hudson and Joni. Bringing you these unforgettable conversations, Hudson James, executive producer, co-host, and singer-songwriter.
Hi, I'm Hudson James, and I'm incredibly passionate about sharing these stories with you. Season 2 delves deeper into the world of country music, revealing untold experiences and invaluable information. Grab a seat and your favorite beverage, and let's all enjoy the show together.
And I'm Joni. Hudson and I are very excited about Season 2. We're going to introduce you to some wonderful new guests who will share their story about where they came from, how they got their start, and what inspired them to follow this incredible journey in country music.
Joni Harms, executive producer, co-host, and singer-songwriter, a true icon of Western music. Her impact on the genre is undeniable. She's not just a singer, she's a storyteller, a keeper of the Western spirit. Her contributions have been recognized by the most prestigious organizations in Western music. The International Western Music Association has honored her repeatedly. In 2003, she received both Female Vocalist of the Year and Song of the Year, culminating in her induction into the IWMA Hall of Fame in 2020. More recently, in 2022, she was awarded the Team Penning Co-Write Songwriting Contest Award. The Academy of Western Artists also recognized her exceptional talent, including naming her Entertainer of the Year in 2002. Jimmy Murphy, executive producer and music manager. Vernell Hackett, public relations director and journalist. In the heart of Nashville's vibrant music scene, she's a fixture, chronicling its history and shaping its narrative. Her byline appears in respected publications, including American Songwriter, and she has contributed to major news outlets like Reuters. From covering the CMA Awards to in-depth artist interviews, she's a respected voice, capturing the essence of the music, the stories behind the songs.
Hello, listeners. This is Vernell Hackett, your Public Relations Director. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests this season, and we can't wait for you to experience these authentic conversations. Get ready to pull up a chair.
Welcome to Season 3 of Stories Round the Table with Hudson and Joni. We begin this new chapter with a very special episode, one that honors a true legend of country music. Jeannie Seely, known to the world as Miss Country Soul, was more than a Grammy-winning singer. She was a trailblazer, a storyteller, and one of the most beloved members of the Grand Ole Opry. From her unforgettable 1966 hit, Don't Touch Me, to decades of unforgettable performances, Jeannie gave her heart to country music and to the fans who loved her. To celebrate her life and legacy, Hudson James is joined by his co-host, award-winning singer-songwriter Joni Harms, a longtime friend of Jeannie's and of today's distinguished guests. Also joining the conversation, Deborah Evans Price, a veteran journalist who has covered country, gospel, and rock for Billboard since 1994, and one of Nashville's most respected voices in music reporting. Shannon McCombs, broadcaster and producer whose career has spanned CMT, TNN, GAC, XM satellite radio, and countless red carpets and syndicated shows across country music. And Vernell Hackett, longtime Nashville journalist and the public relations manager for Stories Round the Table, bringing her own insight and personal connection to this tribute. This is also our very first video episode, the perfect way to launch Season 3, and to honor an artist who gave us so much. So settle in, it's time for a heartfelt tribute to Jeannie Seely, right here on Stories Round the Table with Hudson and Joni.
Welcome everyone to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you all of you for taking the time out to do this.
Hey, congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. So well deserved, man.
Thank you all.
Right, yes.
Well, who wants to start it off? This is the tribute episode, and you guys have so much knowledge about this particular artist. Can't wait to hear some of these stories.
Oh, I'm all for Joni starting it off because I know Joni played the Opry and Jeannie was there most nights. That would be my suggestion.
Well, I would be honored to kick it off, and I just want to say that she was one of the most friendly, welcoming ladies, and I do mean lady, in the country music business. She really had a way of making you know that she was sincerely welcoming you there. She did that. She remembered my name from the first time I played there, and I was lucky enough to play several times. And you're right, Shannon, she was there most of the times that I performed, and she would always make an effort to come over and welcome me back and ask what I'd been doing and compliment my song or my voice. And I mean, it was just, it's like I can't believe that she always makes such an effort to come over. But I think she was that way to just about everybody and remembered most people and really went out of her way to welcome them to the Opry and make them feel like they were part of it. And she and Little Jimmy Dickens and Bill Anderson and some of those wonderful legends are folks who really get it, I think, about how important it is to be that way, and they know because of what they've been through how exciting it is to have that opportunity finally come to you and be something you get to do. And so the few times, when I was there, by no means did I have the recognition and that those guys had, but it just was always nice to be able to remember people's names, go out of their way and say hello and ask how they've been, compliment them. It's just something that is a real part, I think, of classic country that sometimes is not as much part of the show of a lot of today's country. I mean, they're very kind and nice, but there is something about those classic country artists that, I mean, just so precious and always dressed to the nines. Oh my goodness, you couldn't, but she was just beautiful every time I saw her, always.
All right, thanks for hanging with us. Let's get back to the conversation. We're going to take a quick break, just a short pause, and we'll be right back with more of the interview. Stick around.
You know him as your co-host on Stories Round the Table with Hudson and Joni, sharing the heart of country music. But that's just part of the story. Hudson James, with his deep love for the classics, is now bringing his own voice to the scene. He's been pouring his heart into writing and recording his own songs, and you can now find Hudson James's original music on all major streaming platforms. Head on over and give a listen to this fresh voice in country, blending that timeless feel with his own exciting new sound. You can also find out more at hudsonjames.net. Keep your ears open, folks. Hudson's got new country you won't want to miss. You're enjoying the rich stories here on Stories Round the Table with Hudson and Joni, and a big part of that is our co-host, the incomparable Joni Harms. Joni is a master at weaving songs that touch your heart, whether she's writing about cowboys and ranches or crafting powerful ballads like her tribute to Merle Haggard. Praised since signing with Capitol Records, her passion for pure country music shines through every performance. From her rancher's life to global stages, Joni brings a lifetime of experience and song to our table. Learn more about her journey right here on the show.
Hey, y'all. We've got some exciting news from the front porch. Stories Round the Table with Hudson and Joni is joining the lineup of a brand new streaming platform, True Country Plus, launching in just a few weeks. This new home for country music lovers will feature classics like Hee Haw, Nashville Now, The Andy Griffith Show, and exclusive new shows celebrating the spirit of country, gospel, and Americana. And yes, our podcast will be part of it. But don't worry, nothing's changing. You'll still be able to listen to every episode right where you already do: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you tune in. When True Country Plus launches, you'll be able to watch us there too, along with all kinds of country gold. So keep an ear out. True Country Plus, streaming the soul of real country. Coming soon. All right, thanks for hanging with us. Let's get back to the conversation.
Some really special, classy outfit, and just like I say, quite the country lady.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. She just, every time I was at the Opry, she was always so welcoming to everybody. And one of the cool things, and Shannon, I don't know if you ever watched her do this, but there's a room in the front of the Opry House called the Circle Room, and Jeannie would hold court in there before the Opry show started. And it was wonderful. She would get in there with fans and like talk about her experiences at the Opry, a little bit about her career, and then and they would be serving drinks and hors d'oeuvres to the fans, and then they could ask Jeannie questions, and it was just such a cool, intimate environment for the fans to get to know more about her and more about the Opry. And she would tell the funniest jokes, like she always did, but it was just the coolest thing. And I thought, now that Jeannie's not here, who's going to do that? I mean, what artist is going to take time to come in early before the Opry show starts and spend that kind of quality time with the fans and really educating people about how special the Opry is? So I'm going to miss her, seeing her in the Circle Room doing her thing. And then one thing I learned, like one time, I was at the Opry with, I would do some work with a radio show, the Country Top 40 with Fitz, and he was a guest announcer. So Jeannie invited Fitz and our producer and the producer's girlfriend, our whole little entourage, to go see her do her thing in the Circle Room. And so as the security guard was walking her to the front of the Opry House, I couldn't keep up. I thought, this woman is 80-something, and she is just like, like just her energy and her enthusiasm and the way she approached everything that she did in life, just with so much passion and love and just bringing everybody along for the experience. So that's a special memory.
Wow, that's a good point. I'll add to that too. She was welcoming to so many people at the Opry, everybody at the Opry, but especially, I'd zoom in on, I was there for 13 years working backstage at the Opry, doing a radio show, and you'd see her welcome especially the newer artist. I can only imagine what it was like to be one of those new artists walking into the Opry for the first time. Yeah. And seeing everybody they had ever heard of. But she would take them under her wings, and I've been with her before, even recently, where she'd get calls from Lainey Wilson, checking in on her, calling the hospital to see if she's doing okay. Lainey was one of those that she zoomed in on and really took her under her wing. Carly Pearce was another one. Her and Carly Pearce got really close, and she gave them a lot of advice in the industry and just really tried to be there for them.
Well, that was one of the things.
Vernell, what do you got to chime in with? You have a lot of great stories too, I'm sure.
Yeah, most apparent. Yeah, I was just going to say that everybody knows that Jeannie had more appearances on the Opry than anybody. And I forget the number exactly, but it seems to me that someone said it from the Opry said that it might never be overpassed, even with her gone. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing for her to have done in her career.
5,398. That's a lot. Again. 5,398.
I first met Jeannie when I worked at Top Billing, which was a booking agency, one of the top booking agencies in town at the time. And I was doing tour press, which I wasn't real sure what that was when they hired me to do it. But Jeannie was the sweetest person in the world. If I called and said, "Can you do an interview this afternoon?" She's like, "Send me the number." There was no Zoom at that time. But she was always there if you needed her to do interviews, sometimes 2 or 3 a day. She didn't care. If she thought it would help promote the show, she was going to do it for you. And I always admired her about that.
I went to an award show last night, the Source Awards, that recognize women in the Nashville music community. And I was talking to Manny Barnett, and we were just talking about how there's nobody like Jeannie You know, there never will be. But Mandy and I were talking how we'd like to see someone else kind of step into that role, the way that she mentored young artists, the way she welcomed fans, the way she made the backstage at the Opry feel like such a warm family, you know. And a lot of times